Hey guys, I'm Noel Salas with Surf & Show, and we've been doing surfboard and equipment reviews for years, and we've expanded. Now we offer our How to Surf Better tutorials, where you become a patron, pledge $5 for the month, and unlock exclusive content. Now we also offer virtual video coaching, where you send in a few clips, I'll critique it, and send it back. Now another great thing to take advantage of is our Surfboard Consulting. I'll help you build a little quiver, make sure you're riding the right boards for your local surf spots. As you can see, we're pretty committed to helping you have more fun and surf better. Now to learn more about what we have to offer, hit the links below. Now if you like the show, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and give us a thumbs up if you like the content. This is going to be fun. Sit back, get your favorite drink, enjoy the show.
She walks in with her hands up. She don't know she about to give him up. That floor separate and he's sleeping away. He's thinking about all of the time she never came.
So that first set of waves in the intro, that's the Dominator II as a quad. The waves were firing. The board did not disappoint, but let me tell you what happened to me. Firewire sends over a text. Here's the stock dims. Which one do you need for review? And I said, well, the 5.4 coming in at 25.9 or the 5.6 coming in at 28 liters. Please send the 5.4. That's in my liter range. 25 to 27 if you follow the show. I'm 5'9" and 160 pounds. Now remember, 25.9 liters EPS. The helium tech's pretty light. I feel like it floats more like 26.4. So it's right in the sweet spot for me. Now, I mentioned the helium tech being super light. I also like the pop and projection it has, especially in small waves. It's got that Polonio balsa wood stringer all the way around the outside of the rail. So it's acting like a parabolic stringer board where it's got this twist and torsion, and as it loads and flexes, it has that pop and projection. It's real explosive through the turns, which I love. Now, I mentioned it's a stock 5.4, so it's on the shorter side. This is 19 3/8 wide, 2 1/4 thick. These are all signs for me that this is a small wave performance board or maybe a groveler. Now, Firewire sends over the stock list for me to pick one, but I don't know what board category or wave range the Dominator II falls in. So I'm standing on the beach and I'm thinking, do we push it? Waves are overhead. Will this board hold? I don't measure rocker. So all this stuff's going through my head. I'm thinking, man, I haven't ridden a quad in a while and I would love to put my quads in this board and just see how it goes. So we pushed it. I put it in the top end, thinking if this is a small wave performance board and I put it on the bottom turn going really fast as a quad, will it hold? And to my surprise, it did. Let's dive into the attributes and find out what makes this board so special. So let's start with rocker. Talking about pushing this board in some bigger waves, it's got medium entry and medium exit, but it's not super obvious, right? The other thing I want to point out is the outline. You can see a little bit of a bump or hip right here. Now we know that that will give us something to pivot off of, make it a little bit easier to turn. And I was texting Dan Man just yesterday, so I'm already done reviewing the board. I didn't want any help. But what I wanted is asking Dan, does this little bump, is that purely for pivot? And he was saying that he wanted that surface area here to keep the board moving super fast, and then pulling in the tail will give it a little extra performance. And that's exactly how it felt underfoot. I pushed this board in smaller surf. I wouldn't say I groveled by any stretch, but the board has excellent speed. So for me, when I hear a board, and it could be a mental thing, you tell me it has medium exit rocker, I'm thinking, I hope it's fast. Well, I believe that how Dan carried the width of the whole board and the way he utilized the little bumper hip here, it's got the speed. I believe it'll grovel good, and I really like how short it is because I could get it nice and vertical in the pocket quickly. Now, another thing I want to point out is on the outline, it's kind of rounder. And the rounder the outline, it likes to get in the pocket real quick and it wants to surf top to bottom, and that suits my style of surfing real well. I also would say that it has good amount of foam up in the chest area here. So it's a good paddler, and the rails I'd say are medium. At 2 1/4, they can get boxy, right? Because if it was a performance board, I would be riding maybe like 2 5/16. So 2 1/4 medium. Rails are forgiving, but they do knife in to the water nicely and give you that hold and traction. Now I want to talk about concave. Pretty simple on the bottom contours here. It's run a moderate single concave. And as I get right up in here in front of the side fins, that's where I can start to feel that double. So right where the straight edge is, it's subtle. It's not super deep even on the double. And then as I get back in here into the tail block on the last third, I'd say, of the last center box here, it's starting to have a little bit of V. So you can see it rocking, and it's getting obviously more aggressive as it gets to the end of the tail block. Now, I like that double. It has the water flow. It really helps the board go rail to rail, especially at higher speeds and some chop. But the V being up a little bit higher, I really felt like that's what helped this board have that flow and roll over on rail and be able to hold it. Now I want to talk about the fins I chose. I mentioned that I started the review riding it as a quad. This is the quad set I ran. I put together some waves for you. Check it out. Now that you've seen some waves running this quad setup, it was really hard for me to get off of. This quad set on the Dominator II was my favorite. It had that speed, that drive, that flow, and I really like the release at the peak of a turn. Now, this is my fin designs right here. So this we call the Momentum Series neutral template. It's sold as a thruster set, and what's unique about it is it has that large fin base with medium fin depth. So I hybridized the two. I took a large fin. What I love about that is the wide base. I can push hard through my turns, and it kind of gives me more drive or squirt with speed through my bottom turns and my cutbacks. And then medium fin depth is going to offer less drag, and it's going to keep the board feeling fast and loose. Now, the quad rears are also part of the Momentum series. They have a large base with medium fin depth, but this is a pivot set. So this is going to be a bit more upright, and I feel like pairing these two together had the best of both carving and pivot from my side fins, and these quad rears got me into the lip quick. This felt great. Now, as I changed from a quad to a thruster, I ran into a couple of problems, but it was easy to fix, just hard for me to figure out. So I kept the neutral template in so I could get that nice quick pivot, but what happened was I noticed that the leash plug on this board is up a bit further, maybe a ½ inch compared to most other boards that I ride. And this Jack Freestone Creatures pad, the kick is pretty high, which I love, but it's also a bit long, and it's roughly 2 inches long compared to most other traction pads are about 1.5 inches. in length. So just imagine this. If this pad was up further, let's say 1.25 inches, because I have a 1/2 inch more from the leash plug and a 1/2 inch more from the traction pad, that's going to put my foot, or this kick, up about right here. So when I put my foot over that, I got the foot right where I needed to be on the quad rears, and I was getting nice precise turns, but I couldn't get my foot back far enough on the pad to get a nice precise turn when I'm standing over the thruster fin. Why? The thruster goes back further than the quad rears. So what I had to do was I took the traction pad off and I customized a new pad, same Jack Freestone, cut out this little piece back here so I could push it back roughly 1.25 inches, and now I'm getting nice precise turns as a thruster. Now that we fixed the traction pad, the neutral template was feeling a little bit too loose and responsive, and I wanted to tone it down, so I put in the rake template. Check out these waves. Now that you've seen a few waves, as a thruster on the Momentum Series rake template, I felt like it had better pivot. The board still had good speed, but it wasn't as smooth in transition from rail to rail. Now, this is my fin design. It has the large base for that drive with medium fin depth, but when you purchase this set, you get 2 center fins. On the bigger waves, when it was head high and bigger, I ran the center fin that's the same size as the sides, and on the smaller waves, I want that tail to be a little bit more playful. I ran the smaller center fin. So the last fin setup I tried was the Twin Plus trailer. Check out these waves. Now that you've seen a few waves running this setup right here, I wish I had spent more time than one session running a Twin Plus trailer setup. I liked it as much as a quad with that speed, that flow, and that little tiny trailer just keeps the board nice and playful on the tail. Now this is the Aquila IPA by Futures. They're sold purely as a twin fin. This is a fiberglass set, and I paired it with the T1 trailer. Guys, this is next level fun too. So let's look at some waves together. Beautiful right here. This is the quad set. A little bit of chatter at the bottom, but it held in nice. Lots of spray on that top turn. Able to go vertical. That's the pivot I'm talking about with the quad set. Look how smooth the board is from rail to rail. Coming off the bottom, nice little top turn. I like how the tail gets free right here, and I like that about the quad. Now here it is backside. There's the release on the quad. Right into a nice little top turn. Look at the flow the board has. Very effortless, going rail to rail with great flow. Now this is the Twin Plus trailer, getting that tail free a little bit, right into a bottom turn, nice little foam climb. And this last little wave, watch the speed off the bottom turns. Nice little top turn, bottom turn, top turn. You see how the tail's getting loose a little bit on every turn, feeling good, keeping the speed up, and keeping it nice and playful and fun. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's review on the Dominator II by Firewire Surfboards. This is a favorite for 2020, and Dan man, this board is sick. I'm calling it a one board quiver. Best in 1 to 6 foot surf. Highly recommend it for intermediate all the way to pro level surfers. Special shout out thanks to Firewire for sending this board down for review, and until next time, we'll see you in the water. Bye bye.